Hello and welcome back to the Ascent out of Avernus. I am Quack and today I am being joined by the DM of our game. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, this tour guide to hell. Your bus is gonna be 50 minutes late. We've ran out of rope, chickens, flying potions, and potatoes. Some maddened wizard used a wish spell to spam just potatoes so you could slide down a mountain of them to river Styx. So we're out. Buses are all we have.
You know
Sorry.
what? It'll do. We'll just have to bring our packed lunches. But yeah,
Oh,
this
we
is.
have plenty of Mad Maggie's packed lunches left. No one buys
We,
them.
we do have our rations. And if you at home don't, you need to stop eating them.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we are here for the drawing of the final character in the party. And that was Reya.
Ms. Reya. Yes.
So without further ado, let's
Where to
get.
begin with?
A good point is to begin with the video, so without further ado, let's get into it. So Reya, of course, was the NPC of the party.
Okay, so where do you want
Yeah,
me to start?
people will likely be familiar with her already if they know either Baldur's Gate or just Descent into Avernus in general. But for those of the viewers who
Yeah.
are not aware of who Reya is, would you like to give an overview?
Okay, so Reya is in like my slight adaptation of the campaign. She's a bit of a tragic figure. I mean, she is in the book base, but I added a little few extra things. One being that she was out training in a field one day, and this is in the core book, and she basically watched her home, sorry, get into a giant hole, forced dimension. Um, yeah, that's enough to traumatize someone, and then you've got to go to a city that's just nothing but a dumb ask for help and find out that your mayor sold out your city to the denizens of hell. You're going to be quite mentally not good.
Yeah, not
Is the
such a
best way to
fun
put
time.
that. She's got a fighting heart though, so yeah, she's one hell of a fighter. June tried to scare her, I believe. To which, with his
The
heart of darkness, to which she said, "Aha, I also have heart of darkness as well."
the
Because
basis for any strong
I read
relationship.
ahead. Yes, both trauma. Heck. Um, that's the basis of any strong relationship. That right there. One person watches their home just get forcibly dragged into the other dimension. One watches almost their entire family get wiped out by devils and or demons. Because I know that there's just certain people in prior videos like to throw no regard as to the difference. This leaves me annoyed. You know who you are, both of you.
I mean,
Um,
I tried.
but,
I'm just
but
not
yeah,
good at
no.
remembering.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's fair. Then you got those two who were winding me up about it, but that's neither here nor there. But yes, when the party meet Reya, she's not meant to stick with them the entire way through. She's meant to. She was, and I found this out after I ran the campaign, and I was rather glad I didn't do it. So spoilers ahead for anyone that does campaign, but our little fighter gal here is supposed to die in Act Two in the campaign, floating city down to hell itself. Yeah, she's. Hmm. So yeah, I was like, was in her. Well, or rather, they were more invested in Reya than they were Lulu. You know, they prefer this random gal that showed up one day, said got scared by June Twitch. She basically went observe, scared him, and then sort of went, yeah, okay, I'll join you if you help me get my city back. And you guys are more invested in that than you were the literal golden ball of exposition, which was
Ah, yes, this was when I struggled to figure out her
an
skin tone.
interesting dynamic, but also part of yeah, I can see skin tones are always
Yeah.
difficult. Like
Skin tones are hard.
kneading is a thing. I hate drawing skin. Yeah, yeah, it's one thing I always remember is that like you told to go like color them one way, like school. It's like, oh yeah, you mix red, white, yellow, some orange, that stuff, and then like you watch guides and like actual artists, and they're throwing shit like blues, greens, purples, all this funky colors in there, and you're just sat there like, none of this makes any sense.
But
Yes,
that's
and then you
neither
got
here nor there.
the artists who are fantastic enough, but yeah, and then you got the ones that can do all sorts of skin tones. There's one artist I've seen that managed to make blue skin tones really convincing. I'm just sat here like, thanks. My work now just feels that a lot less valuable. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reya. I had to keep Reya around because a part of me, deep part of me, was like, you know what? I am just gonna have Reya stick with a party because I partly want to play this campaign as well, and I want to make sure that at least one of the two NPCs I am in control of sees it to the end. And Reya, well, they both saw it to the end, but Reya was the top pick for that one. And I did have a plan should the
Who
golden
was
ball of exposition
who was the other
perish.
NPC you wanted to try and see to the end?
Lulu, there
Oh
are
yeah, she was not just she wasn't
moments
just
she
a
can
plot convenience, she was actually a character.
very much die. Yes, she has basically general rule of thumb is if it's a person and it doesn't have stats, it can't die. Here's the thing: the book gives Lulu stats, which means she can die. So I had to make sure, like, okay, one of them has to get to the end. One is the giant walking plot device, and the other one knows a bit about the walking plot device. So I had a plan, should worst come to worst, but both made it to the end. Reya had some play the game moments, not as much as the rest of the party. We'll say that. Like
Enough for her to be a fun
what
character to
she
play,
did.
but not enough
Yeah,
to
like I
have
used
the
the
NPC taking the spotlight. So it was a good
yeah,
balance.
which is something that is often hard to do because there's some moments where you just want your NPC to shine, like your
Yeah.
DMPC to shine because they're under your control. You know the ins and outs, but then that just makes like the party feel like second hand. And I was like, you know what? I'll have Reya sort of linger in the background. Sometimes though, looking back in retrospect, I feel like I had her linger back too much. Like there were certain fights where I feel like she could have been more active. Like she was active in the fight with Zariel, don't get me wrong, but like the fight with Haruman, like Electric Boogaloo, she could have been more invested there, or like
Which
something
fight
I
was
don't
that? Was
know,
that the first
because
one, or the first one, the last, or the one where June
that
died?
was the it's probably the third one then, which was Haruman free the Revenging.
Okay, to be fair
Because
with
in my
that one,
notes I
a
have them
lot of us
labeled
were
as
hanging back because we wanted June to get the kill on that.
yeah, but I mean, like at the early stage of the fight, anyway, I was expecting you all to all pile in, and I feel like Reya could have piled in a bit more rather than going back.
Oh, there's the rest of
Sword
the party.
attack turn. Yep.
And now they're also gone.
Um. I miss them every day. Um,
They were my best friends, but they
it's
owed me
funny because
$7.
yeah, I think Reya is actually the youngest character in all the campaign because she joined the militia that she's in when she was 12. And the fact that she's still training when she's about 20-ish. So yeah, she's I don't think like she didn't pass school if it, like because her city got taken away when that happened. But I mean, she's still in training, so I believe the book has her age pegged at around 2022-ish. So she's a baby compared to the rest of the party who you got your elves who live for hundreds of years. You got your half orc who's still alive somehow, despite everything that he's told in his backstory.
I love that he's
You
got
have
this really extensive
the
backstory and then he's
celestial.
level 1.
You've got this celestial holophant that has probably hundreds upon thousands of years. And then I think Lorelei was second youngest, I want to say.
Um,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
not including Reya, I think. I think actually it would have been. Jin
Yeah.
was definitely the youngest. Uh,
Yeah,
I
actually,
think
yeah. Well,
mentally
he's
Robin
an
would have
elf.
been, yeah, mentally Robin would have been older than Lorelai because Lorelai was technically a young adult
Hmm.
for being a gnome,
Ah, okay.
but like physically Robin would have been still younger than her.
I love the shading that you're doing, by the way. It's
Yeah, I had fun with the
good.
shading.
I like the leather and stuff.
It's
Yeah.
mostly metallic objects that I struggle with shading, but I think I managed to make it work pretty well with the sword.
Met-
Someone's gonna be mad about the design I
Metallics.
went with for Rhea. They're gonna be like, "Why didn't you use this design? Why'd you go for the newer one?" Because I
Because,
wanted to.
right. I will defend. I will also defend our artists here. Rhea only has three pieces of official artwork. One of which is her concept art. The other one is like a still image to help describe her character, and the third one is the official one that the design that we're using. It was an alternate design, sure, but this is the one we're using.
Yeah, I think the design we
Um,
had early on as well, like
the
it
one
showed
that
her
I
in
used
like her uniform. So
early on
aside
was just a
from
concept art.
yeah, aside
Yeah,
from her hair and her face, you saw almost nothing of her as a person. So
nothing.
I really liked her later design because it gave her more of a character herself instead of just oh, vague
Yeah,
guard character.
and with journeying around hell, it's hot. You're gonna adapt your armor and clothing. You're
Although
not gonna run around in
I
full
did
heavy
like
duty
I did
guard
like that she
armor.
still had the scarring. I thought that was a very nice touch. I
Yeah,
just thought I need to include that.
yeah.
I can't
Again,
not.
Wizards. The artwork for D&D characters 99% of the time is very consistent. Um, to anyone that has the book, go look at the gnome paladin and Sword Coast Adventuring Guide. That is not consistent artwork, and I believe it's page 99. You'll have yourself a bit of a giggle at how bad that artwork it is in terms of consistency.
Yeah, I didn't like the way the highlighting worked
Um,
on the the fur thing that she wears.
el- yeah,
It looks
fur
weird.
is always hard to draw.
It just looks
Like I,
weird.
I don't know about you, but I struggle. I always struggle. It's not fun. Like I have a character in Black Crusade. I decided one day on for a joke I'm going to draw her with a pimp coat. I hated every moment of that. I
Ugh.
would I Mm,
I mean, when I was
didn't like
drawing
that.
my pixie character for the Silverwings, like she's themed around what are they? Rosy maple moths. Now moths are very
Uh huh.
fuzzy by nature, so when I was concepting her clothes, it was like, okay, how am I gonna incorporate fur into this in a way that makes sense? Fortunately, because she was very cartoonish the way I drew her, I was able to just be like
Mm-hmm.
little puffs of fur on her cloak.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
But yeah,
I also
I
Reya was fun
I should try drawing more
to
things
play.
with fur just to kind of get used to it.
Yeah. Reya's interesting because as well. This is one thing I just found out here now while recording. She starts off before the party as a level 3 fighter, like class. Like I think she's a challenge rating 3 veteran. Then when she joins the party, she goes all the way up to a challenge rating 9 veteran. And I'm just sat here like, that's quite a jump. But if I'm gonna be like wanting her to see the end goal, she's gonna need more than basic kit. So controversial opinion here. I used the Rune Knight before it was fixed, the one that everyone said was too OP. I was like, it's perfectly balanced for DMPCs and whatnot that you kind of need. Should main pot device die because it gives them the right amount of survivability? And yeah, I made that choice. It was an executive decision. Fight me. Um, there's she
I mean, I
doesn't
felt like you
have
balanced
a
her
lot
very
of
well
backstab.
as
At least she
just
got her
in.
happy ending where she,
I felt
at
like
the
you
age of
balanced her well as
20-ish,
just enough of a character to be an asset, but without just making the rest of the
stepping on
party
everyone's
feel
toes.
redundant.
Yeah, like I kept her veteran stats. I just tacked on the abilities here and there. At the age of 21, decided I've had enough adventuring. Opened up a farm. Um, I actually like figured out what it is she sells. It's not just like she sells the odd bit of poultry like chickens and whatnot, but most of it's jam. I figured a
Ah,
jam farm would be kind of nice.
the fact
Wholesome
that she
ending.
was able to retire at 21 is impressive.
I think it's more that she basically said, "I'm done adventuring. I don't ever want to sword
Yeah,
again."
time
Like
for a
there's
career
an there's
change.
an element of yeah, there's an element of I have seen so much unbelievable stuff. I don't think I'm ready to just go back and hit the streets anymore as a
That
regular guard. I'm
that's
just done.
fair. She's been through a lot.
Yeah.
She deserves a good life.
Yeah, and she gave June the open invitation, like you can stay here if you want, have a place where you feel like you belong, sort of thing. It
Yeah,
may
that
get more
was
wholome further down the line when the
that was really sweet.
revisitation. That's not the word. When the reunion campaign happens,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
And then that will be when we find out what the situation is with them.
Yeah, who knows? It might be good, might be bad. They might have just stayed friends. Who knows? I know. Emer will have his opinions at this ending discussion. Nothing is set in stone yet, but has feelings. Better reciprocate. God.
I mean, as long as it's something wholesome, I'll be satisfied.
Oh yeah, no. They like the Caduce Rhea suddenly like towards the end like okay he doesn't need a spell to do this anymore. She's seen him die once. She's getting invested now. Um, and the fight with Zariel. Reya did her stuff there. You know, she tried her best.
Yeah, she got
Got
the
nuked. Like her health got nuked if I leave on that fight. Let me double check because I still
it
have
was
the roll 20 in the state of aftermath.
it was just it was just lucky that she was using Zariel's sword as well.
Oh yeah, the one that she decided to take from Artisan because she's like, you know what? I'll hold on to it because if it has a similar freaky reaction with me, well, second combat loss is fine. You know, the usual. Where is she? Reya. Yeah, after the fight with Ariel, she only had 5 HP left
Oh,
out of 79. Oh,
so
indeed.
we took Zariel down just in time.
Well, I mean, she would have gone on to saving death saves, and she's got Indomitable, which is a nice little thing. But
But Beyblading saved the
yeah,
day.
she only had Beyblading saved the day. You know, Moses parted the Red Sea with Beyblades. You guys had a half orc tear up an archduke as your Beyblade. You know,
And that was the true
um,
lesson to take from all of this.
it yes. Well, it's, if you don't believe me, watch the Beyblade show. That's the genuine reason. Um, that's how that actually happens. Um, I also like yeah, no, everything is still the way I left it actually. Like even I had some side content planned as well that went to. I'll probably reuse it for the reunion campaign. I mean, everything's probably safe and good and all in hell, but the question is, do you want to go back?
That is a good question. I mean, I presume by then Lorelai will be proficient
I
in
mean, some
Orcish,
things got
so
better
that might
after you
help.
guys left. That's all I'll say. Yeah, that should probably help actually. Provided you've been to the same orc boys that
Yeah. And Drummond
you
will be
saw at the
proficient in
shopping
Gnomish.
center.
It probably won't be very useful in Hell, but
Yes.
he'll have it.
You don't know. I mean, there could be some gnomes down there you just haven't met yet.
I mean, they did say it's pretty
I don't
rare
know
for
what
a
those
gnome
gnomes
to to
did.
turn up.
Yeah, I don't know what those gnomes did, mind you, but whatever they did, it got them sent there. So who
Are
knows?
you gonna create a
Who
gnome
knows what we'll
NPC
bump
the next time we go to Avernus?
I mean, honestly, the best NPC, and he's only helped him for like 15 minutes that session, was the peg-legged half dragon that was possessed that had the
Oh
submarine.
yeah,
He
he
was my
needs to come
favorite, in
back.
my opinion.
I hope we get to see him
Like
again.
out of all the side quest characters, he was the best. It was thanks to him actually I started practicing my Irish accent for when it came to playing the Irish lass for Call of Cthulhu. So you know, there's a little fun piece of trivia. Uh, you know, practice the Irish via a
Well,
peg leg
there
possessed
you
half
go.
dragon who owns a submarine.
D&D can help prepare you to
Yeah,
fight the darkness.
and give you many other skills like maths.
And killing krauts. Possibly twice.
Listen, okay, man, the second one remains to be seen, but the
Oh
first
yeah, that's
one,
why I said
the fir-
possibly.
it, best the best way to put this without upsetting someone. It wasn't intentional. It was the DM's fault because I rolled the result. He said roll again. I rolled the same result. He said roll again. And then he didn't like that one because it didn't work. So he made me roll again. And then he got the one that was fun.
It
And
was
that's how so
it was the fact that you shot her multiple times until she died, and then afterwards proceeded to start stabbing her.
I was in my defense. I was fighting zombies. Go for the brain, and once you do, make sure they're deceased. And in
I mean,
my
it was Sophia. She
eyes,
probably
Sophia
deserved it.
was one of them. I can neither confirm nor deny that statement with my legal team.
It's
That's
fine.
all I can say.
That seems like
It's
a.
fine, yeah. Yeah, that's what I said to you guys when everything was going well in Avernus, and then what happened? June died. You know,
It's fine. Don't worry about
fine
it.
it is not.
But that seems
Yeah,
a good place to
I
wrap up.
guess.
Any parting words?
Yes. Your hellish bus will be here in about 2 minutes, so you'll be back up top on the surface in no time.
Excellent. We'll just have one more stop, and that will be figuring out the background. But that's up top, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that's up top.